Hi, I'm Sarah Russo's Kara Kayan, your small space specialist, proving to you that home really is what you make it. Today we're in Manhattan's Washington Heights, one stop away from the George Washington Bridge, a neighborhood that is growing fast because of the affordable housing. Today we have Chris and Kathryn, who took on a one-bedroom renovation to create 2 bedrooms to accommodate their growing family. I can't wait to see what other space-saving solutions they've come up with. Let's go check it out. Hello.
Hi.
Can we come in?
Yeah.
All right. Thank you for inviting me into your beautiful home.
You're so welcome.
And I understand it didn't look like this when you bought it.
No, it did not actually. It was a totally different layout.
Tell me about that whole story of finding the property and seeing what you were going to do with it after the renovation was done.
Yeah, well, we were looking for something convertible because, you know, we really wanted a second bedroom because we really wanted to have a family.
Okay.
We needed somewhere for this little guy to sleep, even though he wasn't here yet. And so we were looking for a very specific floor plan.
Okay.
So there just aren't that many options. And when I walked into this place, it was actually pre-market. You know, they hadn't really done any open houses or anything, so we sort of felt like we were getting in before anybody else had seen it. And Chris was a little bit slower to like come around, which was sort of a good thing because it's always good to have a balance.
Yeah, to think about it.
Making a decision, but
Right.
I walked in and I saw these high ceilings, and I was like, "This is it. This place could be really great."
So how did the layout change? What did you ultimately end up doing?
So we basically, if you can imagine, this whole wall without the door shifted this way.
Okay.
So it was just a big L, and there was an old school dining room
Got
with
you.
a doorway into the kitchen.
Mm-hmm.
So because this building was built in the late 50s, and you know there was a room for everything, dining room, and then the kitchen was closed off.
Sure.
So we obviously wanted to make a second bedroom for you and open up the kitchen. So we added the peninsula and totally redid the kitchen and added this wall with a big old 8-foot door. That was the architect's idea, and it created this sweet little room for him.
It's so sweet. And so this was a galley kitchen before,
Yeah.
and you took down this wall right here,
That's
which
right.
opens it up
Wow.
and also creates more seating.
Yeah.
I mean, so you've thought of a lot of ways to maximize what you've got.
Yeah.
So we're in your beautiful kitchen. I love, so some of the things that stick out to me that help small spaces, which you already know, are the light colored cabinets, the tall ceilings, which you've maximized, and this. Tell me about your decision to open this wall up.
Yeah. Well, we knew we wanted. Chris loves to cook, and so we kind of live in the kitchen, but you can't have a big kitchen in most New York apartments.
Right.
So adding this peninsula area, which has seating over there, there's all storage under here, and
Right.
there's like a little bookshelf that we put in there. It just created this kind of. It's sort of become like our home base. Like
Right.
whenever we have people over, whenever we're we're eating, we're cooking. You know,
Absolutely.
I'm with the baby, Chris is cooking. We're always just hovered over this spot.
Yeah,
Right.
we put tons of food out for our friends, and I'm cooking, and they're hanging out, you know, eating and drinking a little wine or something.
Sure.
It just really, this one area of butcher block countertop is the center of our home in a lot of ways, especially when we're entertaining.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And it's great. It's open concept, but you still get the feeling of this is my kitchen, and this is the dining room, and there's living room, but we're all still having one big conversation.
Yeah.
The spaces are certainly defined.
Absolutely.
And actually, speaking of storage, we have managed to carve ourselves out a floor-to-ceiling pantry, which I was very proud of.
Floor to ceiling pantry.
Yes, that's right.
Will you point that out to me, please? Floor to ceiling pantry. I cannot wait to see how you guys put that into this tiny space.
So this is it. This is the guy that holds all the food, which,
Right.
you know, you always run out of space in a New York apartment. There's always stuff all over the counters, and in here we don't have that because of this guy. I didn't think it's really possible because there's a lot of columns. There's actually cement columns that run through a couple places in this home. And so we couldn't fit an entire cabinet. So what I realized is if we just kind of chop off the back of it, we can fit it right on top of that column. So it's still flush with all the other
Sure.
cabinets.
Yeah.
And yet we have like a little 7-inch spot, and believe me that, you know, you can
You
put
tuck
a lot of food in
everything
there.
away.
And then of course,
All the important stuff.
yeah, you know, all the important stuff.
Yeah.
So
It needs a home as well. That's gorgeous.
Thanks.
And I love that you got creative. You weren't like, oh, this isn't gonna fit. You're like, no, we're gonna make this work.
Yeah.
And that's the great thing about living in these small spaces, no matter where you are, is you've got to get creative.
Yeah, that's so true.
And it looks seamless. I mean, I never would have guessed
Yeah,
that.
thank you. I mean, necessity is the mother of invention.
Right.
So I think people, in New York, you have to do a lot of that.
So one thing about New York spaces is you become accustomed to understanding real estate and how to live. People don't remember to look up.
So
Absolutely,
true.
yeah.
And actually, we were touring a whole bunch of places, and I saw that at one of the ones we looked at, they had built out like a cubbyhole situation above some existing closets in each of the bedrooms, and I was like, that's just genius. You know,
Yeah.
that makes so much sense.
Right.
So when we were doing our renovation, we actually asked them to also build out some little nooks
Right.
above our 2 hall closets because we have the high ceilings.
Yeah.
So there we have it. We like to refer to it as the 3rd and 4th bedroom.
But it's valuable real estate instead of having to like have these awkward shelves.
Yeah.
I love that you guys have a cap to your closets, right?
Yeah,
There's a
he
cap to the
He
closet.
loves that too.
Yeah.
Jonah's really about efficient storage.
So we're in your master bedroom. What did you do in here to make the space work for you?
So we loved it for the light, but there was just this sort of area of the room that wasn't, we just could tell that we weren't going to use it. We didn't have the furniture for it because we were coming from the East Village. Everything was pretty compact.
Sure.
And so it was kind of a no man's land in here. And so we decided, I kind of had the idea in the middle of the night, realized that there would be room for a walk-in closet, like a big old store everything walk-in closet.
Right.
Because that's what you dream about when you live in New York.
And if you can get it here, you're like, I've made it.
It really feels, I know, it feels like I've had friends come over and feel like weeping.
Yeah.
Like, you have a what? But it's worked out great. So this used to be a few feet back and just straight across. It was just like a standard sliding door closet.
Sure.
And so we just kind of broke that wall down as part of the reno and built this out a few feet. And that created a little nook here.
Your
And
books.
Chris built me some storage for books.
Oh my
which was
gosh.
great. I love that little nook. And it has become, the place where all things live, and also our recording studio, because we have an audiobook business, and I do a lot of voiceover, and we wanted to find a way to continue to do that at home, which is really beneficial
Wow.
for us for a billion reasons. And so, clothes work. They make the room pretty, dead, which is what you need. You don't want any echo.
Sure.
So the clothes double as that, and then we also had like some insulation added that soundproofed it.
Sure.
And it's worked out great. It's great. So I spent a lot of time in there.
But you had the forethought, as a New Yorker living in the East Village, to come to this home and be like, my bedroom might be too big. It might be too big. And I could take this space and make it into a storage space and a money-making space, and make the bedroom feel like it's purposeful, because now all the furniture has a place. You can walk to
Yeah.
everything, but you can tuck things away too.
Yeah, I mean, the only thing I could imagine doing with this was like, we'll put a chair there, but that chair, no one will sit in that chair. You'll just put all your stuff on it.
Right,
So
exactly.
it's like, let's just do something a little bit, let's use it a little bit more. And it's worked out.
Can we take a peek in?
Yeah,
Let's
come
go.
in. Lots of shoes.
Oh
Lots
my
of shoes.
gosh.
Get ready.
Yes.
So there's a little vanity in there where I stand and, sort of get ready to go. And, we have we've tricked out this whole top part here, and there's an alpha unit. Thank you, Container Store.
Absolutely.
It's kind of a mix of IKEA and Container Store, and me asking Chris to install shelves for me all the time when
Yeah.
I realized we need something else here, and so it's just kind of become this.
But you understand what you need, and you're like, okay, so then I'm gonna give myself what I need, nothing more,
Yeah.
and then figure out how I can multi-purpose that space. I can
Yes.
get ready in here, I can get changed here.
Yeah.
Oh, I can also make some money in here.
Yeah,
It's
right.
great. What one thing would you say to someone who is maybe coming from a really big space and having to live small, or even just continue to live small? What is that one thing that you want to remember should you, move on or whatever, and you want to keep it in the back of your head to remind yourself?
Yeah, I think it's really easy to get into a mode of just sort of like acquiring things without thinking about it. I do it all the time, but every once in a while, I can't always be like mindful of what comes
Sure.
into our house. I have a baby, there's all kinds of stuff that comes in here.
Sure.
But every once in a while, it's almost like pretend like you're moving. And what would you, if you were going to move across country
Right.
right now. Like, obviously, there'd be a lot of things that would fall off your list. You're like, I'm not hauling that with me across country. And
Sure.
if you just sort of think of it like that way, every once in a while, you're gonna end up with at least a box full of stuff,
Sure.
if not more. And then I think it's just about passing it along. So that's becomes like a nice feeling of like, who do I know that could use this? You know,
Right.
you can re-gift, you can donate, or turn it into something, you know, and then that becomes like a real positive.
Yeah.
So that would be my one piece of advice.
I love it. Yeah.
And for me, I would say think up. Like a lot of times I'll go to my friends' houses that don't live in New York City.
Sure.
And everything is just spread out.
It's all at eye level.
You've got a whole
Yeah.
wall right there that you could put some sort of a shelf on. You can build shelves cheaply yourself, and you can just clear some space for yourself. And that's another thing I would say is to think up.
I
for
love
everything.
that. It's the simple things that people tend to forget,
Yeah, that's true.
but here we're kind of forced to. Thank you. You've inspired me, and I know you're going to inspire everyone who comes across the video. So
Thank you.
thanks for having us.
You are
Thank
so
you for
welcome.
coming.
Thank you. Wow, what a peaceful and warm space Chris and Kathyrn have created. They remind us to look up and to embrace multifunctionality to maximize every inch of space. My favorite takeaway is how much they value decluttering and only surrounding themselves with things that they need. They weren't afraid to take their small space and dream big. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time.